hey. Quick video, Um, a lot of stuff going on. Busy. I know I talked about this previously. I talked about this Nick Shirley guy. Imagine last name Shirley. Anyway, I spoke about this Nick Shirley guy when the first expose happened of the Somali daycare center. I did a quick live about it. I expressed some concern, especially because I felt that the um, the fact that he unfairly trolled the daycare center. And let me tell you why. I know what it's like because I've lived with it, right? And if you know, you know. If you know my family member, you know. I know what it's like to be a content creator. My family member was one of the original uh, physical content creator where he pretty much created this genre. A lot of people will say that other people, but no, he did. If you go back, you will see that he started doing this way before everybody else, right? Um, he did a lot of things before everybody else. My son, so I know what it's like to strategize, to work on, to create a plan to get um, the maximum payday for your story, to come up to pay to have the maximum impact. I know what it's like to troll. I know what it's like to create an idea based on a story or based on a feeling or based on something that's currently hot, and to make it into a big deal and it explode and you become a content creator and you get thousands, millions views, and you're the person and the man and blah blah blah. So I know, and it started a while ago. Again, I think my son was one of the original founders of doing it, but I know there's a lot of people that does stuff like this, and they do it for content, they do it for views, and stuff like that, right? And now we have this whole segment of independent media where we are no longer legacy media. You have a lot of content creators out here that's telling the story, that's doing investigative work, that's going to courthouse. Everything like that is new, is brand new. Some of it evolved as a result of COVID and people staying home, so they had to entertain each other for using social media. So this is a thing. It grew. It could be good, it could be bad, but we're here, right? So we're here. So imagine somebody named Nick Shirley came into the picture in the middle of all this, like strategized, did maybe do some little bit of investigation, decided, okay, this is what I'm gonna do. As a result of seeing something that interested him, and because of who he is as a person, decides that, okay, this is something that I want to do. Because a lot of content creators, some of us will do it, gossips, some of us do advocacy work, some of us sell items and stuff like that. You know what social workers do. Me, a lot of my social working thing, a lot of my content things is about advocacy and talking about stories that I'm interested in as a result of unfairness advocacy. But a lot of people do a lot of things, right? You also, when you do a lot of stories, it also tells you something about yourself, like what you want to do. Do you want to help? Do you want to hurt? Do you want to troll? Do you want to be an a-hole? Do you want to be a racist? You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff in it. So then you have this Nick Shirley person. And I didn't like the Nick Shirley-ish story from the very beginning because me personally felt it was based off racism. That's just me. Because I'm like, why is this YT guy all of a sudden decide to go to an area where there's Somalian daycare center and harass Somalians after the current administration was talking about Somalians? That was my whole thing. So I envisioned him sitting there looking through the internet website like, oh, the administration, Donald Trump don't like Somalia. Ooh, what can I do? And maybe, possibly, if he has the brain cell, he maybe have written it down in his little paperwork and say, okay, Somalian Trump, okay, well, I can't go into their place of worship. So, oh, maybe they care. Oh my God. You know what I'm saying? I can see it. There might have been more things involved, but as a result of everything that happened, I don't think so much more have happened. right? He wasn't involved. I think he was looking for a hit piece. He was looking for a piece that would like garner a lot of attention, and I think it was based on his racism. To be honest with you, because he knows that Somalian people is the current issue. So anyway, when he went there and I heard about what he did, I got pissed off. I got pissed off as a TikTok, pissed off at TikTok, same thing. Sorry, social media. Because as a grandmother and as a mother, I got ticked off. I know specifically. Thank you so much. There's a girl behind me, right? I know specifically how we are as parents when we drop out their kids off at school. I could promise you, I've had multiple incidents with parents, other parents that had issues with my son. I had incidents with kids that had issues. So even as a parent going there with teachers, even as a parent going to school and expecting certain you know care for your children and stuff like that. And my kids was a badass. He was the troublemaker. Even as parents, I know the conflict of wanting to drop your kids off because you have work, you have to pay, you have to, you have to make a living, pay bills, and you want to drop off your kid at a safe area, a place that you feel is safe that's going to take care of your kids and stuff like that, right? So I understand the complications of doing that as parents, finding locations that understand your kids, understand your need for support. Sometimes people go to centers and care centers that is based on their religious belief. Some of us, we ain't got that money, so we go to the neighborhood daycare center that has little foundation. I mean, that may have a grant, that may possibly, right now, a lot of the daycare centers that have grants are being licensed by the state and stuff. But we used to, back in my days, we ain't had the time to go to a location where somebody had a grant or money coming from the government. We would go through word of mouth and we would drop off our kids at an auntie or grandmom that we know is good in the neighborhood that will love and take care of our kids. So daycare things has always been uber important because we are not all rich where we could actually hire, hey, how are you? Hire somebody to actually come in. We can't hire nannies. We can't hire what the I forgot the terminology that is a French terminology that has par. Unfortunately, I can't remember, but we can't hire a nanny to keep our kids. So having a daycare center, someone who cares for our kids while we work, especially when young, is uber important in all our lives. Everybody understand that's something that it must happen if you have a job, if you can't stay home and stuff like that. So it's uber important, right? So I was very offended by this story. I'm gonna tell you right now. I thought he was about some BS. I thought Nick Shirley was about some BS. The way he approached the daycare center, the fact that the ladies was opening up and I could see them all in the hijab, I think that's what they're having, or their attire, and they're looking out and they're like, who are you? Like, what are you doing? And he's trying to open up the door and stuff and sneak and look. First of all, his ass should have been arrested as a perv. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Because if I saw a total stranger, I don't care who the hell you are, and you had a camera, and you come into my daycare center, you come into my house, and you're a white tea man, I'm gonna have you arrested because what you looking for kids for? That back in my days, that's exactly what time I don't know what time people are on now. Sorry guys, let me fix this. I don't know what time people are on now, but back in my days, if we saw a man, white tea or otherwise, and you coming, especially a white tea man, coming into my daycare center, coming to my house looking for children, you're getting arrested, period. So the first thing they should have done is arrest his sorry ass, right? So him coming there, trying to open the door and come in, and the people is like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And he's trying to do an expose. That pissed me off. Because as a parent, I know if I came to pick up my kids and I heard a white tea man trying to get in there with some cameras, we gonna have a problem. Cause me and you will have a problem. Cause I don't even understand how the parents didn't even go look for him. Cause I would have looked for him. I'm not even gonna lie to you. If that boy, and I call him a child, had come to my kids' daycare center, trying to get into my kids' daycare center to take films of my kids, him and I would have had a problem. My people would have gone looking for him. He would have had to call. He would have had to do what he gonna have to do because he would have been scary. I'm telling you, because don't come to my people's place. Like, are you crazy? I would have had to find out what it is. Once I found out that he was a technical reporter, then I would have to fill out I would have filled out a police report. I would have gone crazy. I would have lost my mind. So the fact that this white T guy even have the nerve to go there and try to get into these daycare centers, try to film them, was a problem automatically. Let me tell you what it is. All right. Now, afterwards, when I found out that he was doing a report talking about how he didn't find any kids in the location and stuff like that, he didn't see kids coming in, coming out. Now I want to know more. I still think he's about some bullshit. I automatically knew he was about some BS. Again, because he's white T, because Donald Trump just finished talking about the Somalian people, and I know ICE was targeting him. That's what bothered me. If it was a story, a long term, because somebody was implying, oh, it's a long-term story, there's been a long-term investigation. Nah, it was just too coincidental for me. It's not as if he picked anybody else. It's like, what is the chance that Donald Trump is talking about Somalian immigrants and stuff like that, illegal immigrants, and there was an incident where a Somalian U.S. citizen was dragged by ICE around the same time, and then you have a white T guy with a camera going to a daycare center. What was it? It was just too coincidental. So I knew he was all about some bullshit, to be honest with you. So anyway, he goes there, he talking about how there was no kids there, and I'm like, okay, what time did he go? First he was like, oh, I went at 11 o'clock, and then he said, I went at after work, and then he said, I believe. You don't even have any set time. When you doing some crap like that, there's no believe. Have a timeline of when your ass went there. So one of the things I was like, okay, so if he went around 11 o'clock as daycare center, people who have kids in daycare center, there's nap time or snack time, right? Also, I was like, wait a minute. He did the expedite around the holidays. Again, I spoke about this already. I'm just ticked off that I have to talk about this again. He went around the holidays, and I said, I know there's multiple holidays during the Thanksgiving and New Year's. I say, was it a holiday? Did they have a holiday? Because a lot of our religious groups, brothers and sisters, they have the various holidays. People go on vacation and stuff like that. Maybe a lot of the kids wasn't there. Just to find out that there were kids inside really pissed me off. And that parents was coming in and saying, yeah, my kid was inside. I mean, they were probably doing something, arts and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, nobody is going to allow a total stranger, a white T or black, but a total stranger to come in with cameras. That's some BS. Okay, so we have that, right? Now, all of a sudden, what is the coincidence, right? Like, if this is all, mind you, this is all, I'm crazy, right? I'm just an insane black woman in Brooklyn, right? So it's all a coincidence that all of a sudden, now, the muss of the world, the a-hole that took over Twitter of the world, then you have the a-hole in the White House, Donald Trump of the world, you have the a-hole that runs, like, ICE and border control or whatever, was the female, right? You have the Attorney General, Pam, now all coming up after their necks, right? Saying, oh my God, there's corruptions and stuff like that. We paying these daycare centers, they don't have any children and stuff like that. They lying, so they cut all the services. And now it came as high as Tim Walsh, and now Tim Walsh is not running again. So I'm like, ain't this bullshit? Ain't this some crap? And now this guy, all of a sudden, like, he's out here talking about, how he have over 500 million views. He's bigger than the biggest YouTubers. I forgot the biggest YouTuber name. And he's like, it's changing policy. You really think that I think that this white T guy who is a YouTube troll did actually strategize this whole thing on a fucking board? Show me a picture. And prove to me, date it back to when you started thinking about this crap. He did it to be a troll. He did it for sensationalism, and this is where we are. Now we find out that a lot of the daycare centers are legitimate daycare center that these parents have to go to work, and then we talk about this bullshit all the time about how black and brown people are lazy. They don't go to work. They don't have any ambition. You have these hardworking people who have jobs, and now they have a problem because they can't drop off their kids to these daycares that has been going on for years because this fool decided he wants to troll them and they took the funding away. So that means they can't feed the kids, they can't pay for the facility, they can't do nothing. So now the parents have to struggle to see what the hell we're going to do now with these kids. All of this is because of a troll. You have these people coming out, you have people going to report. I know my son went down there. I didn't get a chance to see his report, but I know he went down there to find out what the heck is going on. But at the end of the day, you have people that's coming out there and say, yes, this is a legitimate care center, daycare center. There were children inside, and we are providing support. Instead of this fool coming out and apologizing to some of the location that he impacted, because again, as a result of this fool report, and I'm sorry if I keep calling somebody a fool. I get that way when I get annoyed. I'm not necessarily judging their intelligence, even though I have to say Don Lemon is questioning his intelligence. Apparently, Don Lemon has some tea that I gotta look at to see how special this special person is. You understand what I'm saying? So apparently, there is some issues with his actual intelligence. But when I call somebody a fool, I'm not necessarily talking about their intelligence. I'm talking about they foolish. They a-holes, right? They are jerks, right? So this foolio, all right, created this whole big drama for a whole community as a result of that. And I'm thinking racism and hate. This is just me, right? So now, I've said it before, and I'm going to say it, they need to sue his ass. They need to sue him. And I know there's some journalism coverage where journalists are covered by certain rules and regulations and reporting, but they need some people, and I was very conflicted with the Milagro and the Megan case, even though I was on the Megan side, because of the fact that I don't like malicious reporting. So I was on Megan's side, and I'm happy, even though there was sort of like, split the cow in the middle. I don't like to use the baby terminology. Split the cow in the middle, where Megan was proved, Lago was proved guilty of defamation. I believe it was defamation, so Megan won that. Also, it was in the report, Milagro was considered a reporter, so that's good for us, the independent media. But I do not like people who actually do malicious reporting, meaning like you go after somebody based on and this is funny because I'm talking about Nick, but with the Megyn Kelly situation, I just thought that Milagros really couldn't stand Megyn Kelly because of Troy. So it was personal. That's why I had a problem with, and I thought that she went way too far with the AI corn video. So that's where I was. And then I saw a lot of stuff. And then to me, I just thought she went too far, right? I don't have anything personal with this guy. I don't know him. I don't know his people. So my thing is just, I don't like you. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas with her, it became that she, Milagro's name was on Troy Ave's song, and she got to know the family, so it became sort of personal. So she kind of crossed the border. But so I'm sort of was stuck in the middle. But this is why I don't like to talk about content creators, because I'm trying to be one, and I don't like to disrespect them, and I don't like to criticize them. I very rarely talk about people I've met in the content world, and I have a lot of things to say, but I try to be very respectful, because I don't want to talk about people that I know. I don't like that. I don't think it's right. But I also don't like to really talk about content creators, because I'm trying to do the same thing. And I'm sure the criticism I give to one content creator, people have for me. But the reason I'm talking about this guy is because, let me tell you something. I believe that he led to the unalivement of Renee Nicole Good. That's why I'm talking about him right now. That's what pissed me off. Okay? I believe that it did. Because the thing is, what is the likelihood of this foolio doing the expose, which I feel was not fully investigated? He didn't go back and apologize to the daycare that's really legit. And don't get me wrong, there's some people saying that as a result of him, they did an investigation and they did find corruption. There's corruption everywhere. There's corruption everywhere. Every city, every government, everybody been, the amount of people who got COVID checks, I don't even want to talk about. And some of them was billionaires. There's corruptions everywhere. There we go. Right? And I don't think, and there's no one that's going to convince me that this guy with his brilliance is the one that helped root out corruption. It's bullshit. He did not do it for corruption, to search corruption. He didn't. He did it as a troll. He did it because he saw that Somalia was being under attack in Minnesota, Minneapolis, and he wanted to do a catch me story. That's what he wanted to do. He wanted to do a troll story, and it happened that he was able to pinpoint on something, and it grew. That's it. So, I think he should be sued. I said that. Now, why do I think it ended up causing the unalivement of Renee and stuff like that? And why do I think he should be sued? Let's go back. Again, I know that media, we have coverage to tell our story. But in that regard, I think if media get to the point where it becomes a gossip, right? To the point where somebody's heavily impacted, just like the Cardi B and Natasha K incident, I think the person should be sued. I mean, if they are losing their livelihood, if they are being put in danger as a result of a report, and it was done maliciously, not because it was done for the betterment of the community, not because somebody strategized it and planned it out and say, look, this is a story that needs to be told, and I'm impartial. I'm just telling the story and stuff like that. If it's done because of racism, because of pretty much racism, or because of personal disdain for somebody, or to destroy somebody, I think that person should be seen, should be in court, to be honest with you. And I think that the daycare should sue this guy, because I don't think he did it in order to be above board. I don't think he did it to do an investigation. I don't think he did it to care because he cared for the Somali kid. This mofo don't care about nobody kid, don't care about the Somali kids. You know why? I know that he doesn't care about the Somali kids or the Somali parent, because he didn't go back and apologize and say, look, I was able to capture with my story. Hey, I was able to capture something going on and stuff like that. And you see everybody reporting me. But with this particular daycare center, I was actually able to follow up, and I am able to determine that kids are there. This is a legitimate. He didn't do that. He dropped something, caused all kind of shit, and just kept on going. So he's an asshole. That's me. So, and I think the daycare should sue him. Why do I think it's connected to Renee? Because once he clicked that little thing and it went off, now you had the Trump administration and all these folios sending out additional investigations. Now, not only additional investigations, now they sent out, thank you, Lassie, thank you so much. Not only did they do the additional investigation, they sent out additional agent, whether it was Border Patrol or ICE. I was just told the other day from one of my live that apparently Border Control agent is different from ICE. I guess Border Control is federal and they have a job and they get paid federally, whereas ICE is a bunch of former Proud Boys that's out here acting a fool, acting like a-holes. So, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's the difference, but I think I should put them all together. I think they should be all together because they all act in the same way. You understand? Let's not try to differentiate all of a sudden. No hate against my MAGA brothers and sisters. I know that there's a large amount of you guys, but I can't stand when people be like, "Oh, I'm not MAGA, I'm Republican." Nah, we all together. You guys want to put left, the center, Dem, progressive all together in one box. Why don't we just put y'all all together like MAGA? Oh, make America great, one box, right? Even something independent, you want to put us all in the Democratic far left box. Let's put it all together, right? But when it comes to this ICE issue, I don't care if you're Border Patrol or ICE, you all the same because you all are doing the same thing because I see you. We all see you on TV. You guys are not acting any different from each other. You're not separating yourself to say, oh, I'm doing this as a job. I'm professional. I'm taking this seriously. You guys are acting like goons. You're throwing people around, disrespecting children, disrespecting American to the point now you unalive. You unalive, all of y'all. It's not one guy, this idiot Ross guy. All of y'all are responsible for where you are, including the Folio in the White House. Y'all all created this. Why do I think Nick Shirley? Again, because of this story, because of his attack on Somalia specifically, right? Because of his trolling, they brought additional agents there. ICE and Border Patrol together there. As a result of that, they identified this Folio named Ross. He's a former veteran who went through an incident with an immigrant prior to him being ended up under a car, right? So apparently somehow he ended up in front of the car trying to stop the immigrant. I don't know if the immigrant moved the car or rolled over him, but he ended up being injured. According to my understanding, he was out of work for 6 months and then they brought him back. Why would you bring this guy back in the same capacity? I don't give a damn if it's 6 months, especially if you're a veteran, former veteran, especially if you went back and forth to Iraq. We all know, we should know what PTS does and we know how it reacts. This boy should never have been back in the field, ever. And he shouldn't be back in the field, ever. Anybody see Ross in the field? Y'all need to know what time it is. Because he's an unaliver. He's dangerous. He shouldn't be around people. Period. He should be behind a desk or retired. So yeah, that's y'all state. That's Minnesota. I'm just letting you know. Y'all better keep an eye on old boy. Because he gonna do it again. You understand? So he shouldn't have been out there. But as a result of the hot environment created by somebody like Nick Shirley, bringing all these extra people, bringing a lot of these Proud Boys, these mentally ill, suffering PTSD people to do this job, we have this woman being unalive. Because there's no way. Seeing that video, I don't give a damn. Most people say that, she nudged him and she hit him and stuff like that. That's why he didn't know. He didn't have to do none of that. There are certain rules and regs, and I read it in several of my life when it comes to Border Patrol and ICE, that you are not supposed to put yourself in these positions. You're supposed to avoid these positions, that these hostile confrontation at all costs. It even says it in the rule. Avoid, de-escalate, avoid, de-escalate. The fact that Renee Nicole Good looked at this man in the camera and said, okay, that's fine, dude. I'm not even mad at you. Prior to him unaliving, just show me what mental case this Ross guy was. He wasn't mentally, he's still not mentally able to handle the situation, handle the job. And y'all put him out there. And the reason why, and the thing is, at first I thought he was new. But it's even worse that this foolio was at the job since 2016. He should have known better. He's on at the job almost 10 years and your ass end up unaliving a woman? Like you some kind of amateur that you don't know what the hell you're doing? So anyway, I think, in my opinion, the result of Nick Shirley's story, his alleged expose, his trolling racist expose, led to Nicole. I would say led to Renee Nicole. Is a direct line to me. From his story to the hostility of the community, to bringing in more agents and stuff like that, to them fighting. And here's the thing. There was a story today. There was one of the parents that was on. She was Rachel Maddow's show. Rachel Maddow did a report on this, and she said, and I think that's where it started clicking. Like, oh, this is a long term. This Nick Shirley story really ended up unaliving Renee Nicole, because she was saying that, she said, I was home, I guess December 1st when this first started. She said, I was home on December 1st when they decided to do this ICE program where they were going to start bringing these ICE agents into our community. And they actually came to one of their daycare center. You have to look at Rachel Meadows' story. They came to one of our daycare center, and I'm home, and I'm putting my kid in a cute little snowy outfit, and I'm dropping him off, and then all of a sudden we're reaching out to each other, panic, because now we have ICE agent going into the schools. That's what she said. And so we all started talking to each other, mother of child in daycare, ICE agent. Let me see if I can get the story. And then she said we started talking to each other, and that's when we started strategizing that we need to not only talk to each other, we need to have whistles and eyewitnesses and stuff like that. Actual mother, Rachel, actual, no, that's not what I'm talking about. It was on here. Hold on. I'm looking to see if I can find this. the person that actually did the story. Then she said that's when we decided to come together and we started to have our whistles and start protecting each other and started protecting our neighbors. And I was like, action and effect. I was like, action and effect is a result of this foolery, this trolling, this telling the story that they brought more people into that area. And the agents had nothing to do but to go to different schools and different areas to try to take people that works there, scaring the neighbors, because now the neighbors are not only worried about ICE. Remember, they started worrying about an unidentified YT troll, a special ed one, coming to their school and trying to film their children. So obviously, if you're a parent, you're going to be like, what the hell is going on? Right? So the first they had that. Now they see as a result of his reporting, the administration sending more people, right? Border Patrol and ICE. As a result of the Border Patrol and ICE now, there's more hostility because the community now is up in the uproar. Why y'all coming after us? Why are you going to my children's daycare center? Why are you attacking their children? You understand? I said, I need to go to work. I need to make a living. Now I have to fear not only of this one YT, Nick Shirley, YouTube, and I have to feel a bunch of Proud Boys, people who couldn't even make it into an actual training to become a police officer or an agent. We have these boys acting like they running things. They have pew pews and they have vests. They have masks. Now I have to worry about my kids. That's where the uproar came in. That's where they all decide they're going to come together and start supporting the neighbors, doing the whistle. That's when the observers started happening. That's when people started deciding they're going to come together and they're going to observe. They're going to protect their neighborhood the best way they can, peacefully, but they're going to let their neighbors know. They're going to start following people to identify, because there's no identity, right? We don't know who these fools are, right? So now we're going to help. We're going to identify who they are, their cards, to make sure that we know what's happening in our neighborhood. And as a result of that, you created this hostile and angry environment in which Renee Nicole Good was unalive because of a special ed agent who could not handle his anger and his hatred, who suffered from PTSD, who was hurt 6 months before, that he couldn't even do his job properly, and he unalived him. So yeah, I blame Nick Shirley. I blame him, because I think he added to the problem. If he didn't create the problem, because you can't create what Donald Trump did. Donald Trump is the most mentally impaired person that he's maybe not the most. He's the most powerful mentally impaired person that I believe ever been, well, president. Nixon was one. I'm sure the first couple of presidents that was under slavery, is he creating the worst? I would say he's the worst. But some people may come back to me and say, Mama Flip, you're doing too much. There's other people that's been worse than Donald Trump. But right now, I would say Donald Trump is the worst. So you have this mentally impaired leader of the whole United States creating these strategies, these plans that's making people uncomfortable and unhappy and putting people in dangerous spots. So he created these plans. He's implementing them. And then he's giving directive all the way down to somebody named veteran, I call him Veteran Ross, ICE veteran Ross, to unalive a woman in broad daylight in the United States streets. And you have these agitators, these trolls like Nick Shirley, that look at these opportunities to create a problem that wasn't there, to unfairly create a problem for a community that wasn't there. And it would be such a coincidence. It would be such a coincidence that he had absolutely nothing to do with the chaos that is currently happening right now. Because he just was all in it. He's all in it. And now he wants to glorify. He wants to glorify because he has so much views and everything like that. He did something good. Y'all go ahead and glorify these people if you want to. Because at the end of the day, he's going to be remembered for this story. And I hope that he's also remembered as an element, a cog, an ingredient that also led to the unalivement of Renee Nicole. Because you can't tell me, unless somebody could come back and tell me that this is unrelated. Because nothing under the sun is new. And nothing is unrelated. Everything is related somehow, some way. Unless you could tell me that this guy had absolutely no idea. Oh my God, he's so brilliant. And this was just because he wanted to help the Samoan community. Oh my God, he loved the little children. And he didn't do it out of malice. Unless you could prove to me that, I'm going to hold it to heart because he is totally to blame. And the Somalian people that have legitimate daycare center should sue his ass. And I hope like the Ben Crumbs and all of the ACLUs will take this case on a contingency or just take it for free and sue his ass. And if Renee Nicole Good wife and family could do a direct connection to what he did, to escalation of ICE, to the fact that the reason why the Renee Nicole and the wife was out there is because they just dropped off their baby, the 6-year-old baby, at a daycare center, and they were concerned because of all these activities. This is why they became an observer, and this is why they were out there trying to keep their community, including the daycare center, safe. And as a result of that, they met Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. What is his name? Jonathan, veteran, Iraq veteran, ICE, Jonathan Ross or whatever, Ross. And he Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs on a live. If they could make that connection, or any lawyer could make that connection, I hope they sue his ass. I hope they do. I hope they sue him. Because what he did was wrong and dangerous. And again, if he had gone back and apologized to these people, or at least do a follow-up. Because sometimes we get it wrong as independent media, as reporter, legacy media. Sometimes we get it wrong. They say all the time the lie the lie goes faster than the truth. Like the lie will reach the other side of the world quicker than the truth. So if that's the case and there's a lie that you did or something that you do, you come back and you be like, look, this is what my intent was. Yeah, I was able to discover this, but not all of these daycare centers are criminal and stuff. I went back. I was able to at least have a meeting. Ask for a meeting with the leadership over there to have a conversation. Do a follow-up interview or something to show what's real, what not. But all he's doing out here is just bragging and saying, oh, this person shared it, that person shared it, and Mr. Beast, and I'm bigger than Mr. Beast. I mean, not bigger, but I have more subscribers than Mr. Beast. This boy didn't give a damn about nothing. But it's going to follow him. I promise you. It's going to follow him. Because the things that our MAGA communities, our MAGA brothers and sisters that are really causing a lot of damage, and not only everybody is doing that, but the thing is, the internet is forever. It will follow him forever. He might as well move to Florida, get cozy with Donald Trump, and create a newspaper just for Donald. Maybe go work for Truth Social, because this will follow him forever. What he did will follow him forever. And if I believe is directly connected with the unalivement of Renee, it should follow him forever. It really should. I'm very disappointed of what's happening with this. And I'm disappointed that he doesn't even care enough to even realize what he did. Because sometimes we have to realize what we did. Even if we don't like it, we're like, well, at least we realize and acknowledge. The fact that he doesn't even acknowledge this makes me nuts. I want to segue a little bit to the, and I want to talk about it again. Do a quick thought. The GoFundMe of this Iraq veteran unaliver of Renee Nicole Good. A lot of people are upset about it, and granted, I understand that. Especially the fact it's going to GoFundMe, and GoFundMe is not supposed to be the platform where you support these type of activities. Somebody reported, I could be wrong, that GoFundMe is trying to change the language in order to participate in this particular, to help this particular case. I know there's a couple of conservative funding sources that don't give a damn what their people do to anybody. As long as the person is white, teen, conservative, they're gonna raise money. They don't care if the person's a murderer, alive, the perv. They don't give a damn. They're gonna raise money for that person. So anyway, this fool, the Iraq veteran, Ice Ross, apparently he's getting a lot of money. A lot of people upset. They're trying to shut it down. And I get it. I feel the same way. I don't even have the energy to try to shut it down. You know why? Let me tell you why. I don't have the energy because at the end of the day, that money's going to run out. Yes, sir. That money going to run out. Ask George Zimmerman. Ask Kyle Richards. Richards or Richardson? The fool that unalived the Black Lives Matter because he thought he was the shit. And isn't he working for Congress and stuff like that? But there was a time that his mom was crying because she wasn't getting money and she couldn't get a job because she was his mom. Maybe they figured it out because the Congress gave him a job, but that's not going to last forever. It's not. The rest of us who has good jobs and good careers and we actually work our ass off, we're having a hard time making ends meet. There's some people that gets hands out and stuff like that, and with some of them it works out. You know, like the Marine veteran who unalive the black male that was having a mental health issue in the subway. His family is super rich, so he's gonna be good. Every time they look at his scrawny ass, people are gonna remember his face, and unless he changed himself, half the America gonna be like, you unalive a mentally ill person, and he's going to be frowned upon and talked about, in some cases spit on. And I don't want to disrespect my federal veteran because I'm a former veteran, but I'm just saying in some cases there's going to be people that's going to hate on him. Some people are going to think that he did the right thing. Other people, they're going to think that he's a coward and he was stronger than the mental health person and he unalived them and he's a coward. Some people will think so. I have my, I know where I stand on it. I'm going to leave him alone because he's a Marine. I know I could say that I've helped several mentally challenged people on the subway. And if you know, you know. And I didn't unalive none of them. I'm just saying. I'm just putting it out there. But we're just going to leave that alone because it's a hot button issue. But veteran Ross, he's getting a lot of money. A lot of people are uproar. What I found interesting is you have a billionaire. I forgot the billionaire who gave money to the guy and stuff like that. I should actually be getting these names for you. Rachel Maddow interviewed mom. Let me see if I can get this thing. Do I have this video? American mother, daughter. Let me see if this is it. Sorry. And I'm going to get you. I need to get some of these names because sometimes I just get in here. Just to get in here. Let me see if I get this. Is this the story where she talks about it? No, that's not it. That's not it. I love me some Rachel Meadows. This is not it. All right, let's go here. Let's see. Rachel Meadow. I want to get this story because this story was a great story. Okay. And she brought up the mother. That's how I started making the connection because she brought up this mother. I'm like, wow. I didn't even really... I mean, I knew that Nick Shirley caused trouble. But to be honest with you, it didn't... I knew it caused trouble for the daycare center, but I didn't necessarily connect it with the latest. With the unaliving of Renee Nicole until that mother came in and told her story. And I'm like, wow. Wow. I could see it. I could see it. I could actually see them doing that. I mean, I could actually see the fact that hold on. Audio I show. Nope, that's not the one. Look at them. Corrupt Sneak said, I wish I had it. I don't know where I saw it. I don't know if it was on here. But please go check Corrupt Sneak. Is it this one? Defend the community. Hold on. Is this the story? Hold on. Let me see if this is the one, guys. Hold on. Unafraid. Unalive. Yes, there it is. I found it. Okay. So the mom, okay, I found it. So the article is on an MSN Now, right? And let me see if I could get the volume here, so I can see if I can get the name of the mom. She says she's a Minneapolis resident demonstrates against Trump ICE raid. That's what the story, the article is about. And I'm trying to get the lady name. Okay, so I'm listening to it now. I don't want to get in trouble because, you know, this is it. But it's a great... Her name is Miss Ottorio. Please go check out Rachel Maddow. Guys, I'm using a lot of these clips and stuff and listening to it as a result of copyright 1976 copyright that allows me to use clips and sounds and stuff like that to tell my story, to explain, criticize. So anyway, so she is a Minneapolis resident, and she was talking about how, and it was on yesterday, and around 7:03 it looked like, and she was talking about how she just dropped off her child at a daycare center. It was December 1st, and then she just saw all of this happen. Please go listen to that story. It's because of that story and because I knew what Nick Shirley did that I actually was like, yeah, I could definitely see a correlation. So anyway, I just wanted to make sure that I show you that. So now let's go back to the guy. Who's the billionaire? Hold on. Billionaire who gave $10,000 to Ross GoFundMe. Let me see. Hold on. Okay, the billionaire is Bill Ackman. First of all, he's a freaking billionaire. Why does fool only throwing out $10,000? Why does fool ain't buying the motherfucking house? Because apparently he can't go back home. Him and his wife and kids had to be up out of here. Took his ass out of here because people don't like people unaliving innocent women, even if the woman is not considered innocent by every person. People don't like YT women being unalive on national TV. That's not cool. Anybody being unalive is not good. Anybody being unalive on TV is not good. I don't care what color, what creed, what age, whatever. You should not take a person out, period. You didn't put them in the world, don't take them out of the world. But people especially have a problem with a YT woman smiling at you and saying, I have no problem with you. We're all good, right? Being unalive by a crazed ICE agent. People don't like that. So anyway, there's a big GoFundMe going on with him. I didn't even look and see how high it is. Apparently, people deciding on the opposite side of the world, meaning the United States is now the twilight zone. So to me, it's the opposite world. Everything is opposite now under MAGA control. They believe that this guy is innocent and he's being portrayed unfairly. So people want to help him. Tito. They want to help Ross. Tito. And this guy who's a billionaire gave $10,000. I think he should buy my house. But I say this, a lot of people is upset, and I say this, be upset. If you could get the GoFundMe taken down, because there's a lot of conservative people that's actually helping create it, the man and his wife may become a millionaire. They may, as a result of unaliving Renee Nicole. Okay, they may. And if they're smart, they may invest. And they may become a billionaire, just like Big Ackman. But most of the time, that's not the case. Most of them that end up broken, like George Zimmerman, O.J. Simpson, who was famous, went through that. Kyle Richards, even though I think is he interning? Does he has a job now with Congress, with the MAGA Congress? All of those people, if they don't end up in jail, two things are going to happen. They're going to hold the label of unaliver for the rest of their life. And they're going to know that unless they go and move, because that's where he should go. He should go and move to Florida, next to Trump, near Mar-a-Lago, in the community of safe YT MAGA, people that's going to love him. They're not going to love his wife so much, because she's not conservative white. Some of them may tolerate the wife, but she's a Philippine immigrant. They don't like that. Not all of them. So they might side eye the wife, or she might be the pick me, and they were like, we'll give her, we'll allow her to be part of us, be part of the crew. But they're gonna be talking bad shit about her. Look at her. It's just the way it is, right? So he should go live in Florida, or very comfortable, or even Staten Island here. Staten Island has a nice community. Any community that's gonna stroke his ego and make him feel like a hero. But once he step out of that bubble, he's going to know the reality of how much anger he has for what he did, right? But maybe he could have that money that's going to help him get a new house, set his wife up. But here's the thing. They're going to have to take care of him forever. So unless he get that money, invested in some quick, Donald Trump pin coins, right? Is it called that? Crip coin, pin, whatever. Unless he can invest the money that they gave him, because it's going to be difficult, right? Because he's going to need the money to live daily, to take care of his wife and the kids. It's possible, I don't know after this if the wife is going to stay, but maybe she'll stay, through thick and, to better or worse, maybe she'll stay. So he's going to need that money to live, right? He's going to need that money to live, probably get a new location, get the kids into a new school, maybe change their name, because the kids going to probably want to change their name, unless they believe their father's a hero when they grow up, whatever. So I don't know how much money he's going to be able to save. But at the end of the day, no matter how much money this fool gets, he's going to always be known as a murderer, and it's going to run out. It's going to run out. So unless these people, this billionaire, Donald Trump decided to bring them into the fold and take care of them for the rest of their life, that means give him a monthly stipend. Maybe he'll find somebody. Maybe the Supreme Court Judge Thomas, because he's part of the pick me Uncle Ruckus of all his YT billionaire, where they all sit and hee-haw and chucking and jiving and stuff like that. Maybe he'll take him on. Maybe he'll find a group of MAGA billionaires that want to take care of him and his wife for the rest of his life. Because at the end of the day, that kind of money can't sustain you. I don't care how much money he gets from school funding, because his story's going to get old. There's going to be other people that done worse that people want to support. If you cannot get a billionaire, and I hope the billionaire hear me, buy him a house. If you can't get a billionaire to give you more than $10,000 in your hour of need, that's telling me something. That's telling me that they just want to give you a little token. They're just giving you a little token. But at the end of the day, you're going to have to take care of yourself, and you're going to have to take care of your family. And how are you going to do that? Because more than half of the world hates you for what you did to Renee Nicole Good. Even if MAGA supporters and Republicans see your side of it, They hate the fact that you put them in this position to make them look crazy. They be like, look, I'm trying to support a policy that's supposed to be good, and now you got this crazy fool. ICE agents hate you right now. The way they're getting creamed and cursed out, people are over here yelling at them, you want to unalive me in my face? Instead of people running scared, they're running towards it now. Because now you started now ICE agents, Border Patrol, even though I think what they're doing under this administration is bullshit, a lot of them are now in danger because of your sorry ass. Because you couldn't control yourself, you couldn't control your temper, you didn't get the help that you needed with your PTSD, and you're unalive this woman. So everybody that's really going cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, and again, I'm going to probably do another more detailed live about the GoFundMe and stuff like that, and the Christian conservative that's raising money, let him become a millionaire. Something tells me with the way he reacted with Nicole and stuff like that, he's not going to raise above the cream. I see him being another George Zimmerman. I see him being paranoid every time he goes in and out of a room. I see that for him. And does he deserve it? In my opinion, yes. Because there was no reason why he needed to unalive Renee Nicole Good. None. I didn't see anything. Even if she were to intentionally, which I don't believe she did. I don't even think she touched him. But let's say it did happen. Because some of us disagree on the video. The fact that he called her the effing B after he put 3 in her, an effing B boy? And then you walking around like you think you the shit, do like this, and stuff like that. Like you ain't give a damn. You ain't even offer her any aid. You a B. Blah, blah. I think of you as, there's a word. I almost said it. And I'm sure people could guess what I'm saying. He should be punished for the rest of his life. The life that he took from Renee Nicole Good, he should be punished. I don't know if he's going to be punished in this world. The Christians of the world believe that he's going to have to answer to God and stuff like that, but he should be punished. But let him get his money. Let him become a millionaire under this. The way he acted in this situation makes me think that he's not going to be much moving forward. I could be wrong. There are rare exceptions. He could become Bill Ackman best buddy. Donald Trump knew they might give him a job. He might go on TV. He might go into Newsmax. He may just be the success story. I don't see it yet. I don't see it. I see whatever money they raise, they're going to get tired of him because they're going to be news stories. He's going to run through the money. I don't know if his wife's going to still be there. I don't know if his kid's going to be able to settle in. I don't know what's going to happen to him. Because he suffered from PTSD, I think that fool is going to need additional help. He might spend most of the money trying to get help. Maybe he should change his face. He needs to change his face. You should change your face. Yeah, change your face. And change your name. Use the money, go to Bali. Everybody's going to Bali. You may not like the black and brown people over there. Anyway, let him raise his money. I don't think the money's going to go too far. I don't think it's going to create this new amazing life for him and stuff like that. He's running scared right now. His family's running scared. At the end of the day, that's all we get for now. I'm happy with it because he needs to run scared, to be honest with you, because he shouldn't have unalived the woman. I don't care if people think that she did it intentionally. He should not have unalived it. He shouldn't have put himself in that position, especially if he is a experienced ICE agent who's been in this situation. If you've been in a situation, you need to be extra careful and stuff like that. He was angry. He was special and not in a good way. And he should be punished. And he needs to live with this for the rest of his life. So anyway, I'm going to come back and do more story about this GoFundMe. But I really, again, let's go back to why I originally here. I think somebody should sue Shirley. I think the daycare centers that he put a lot of heat on should sue him. There's people are being threatened now. People are scared to drop off their kids. These people have to work and eat, and pay bills and eat like everybody else. People, because I don't even think these people are immigrants. They are Somalian American born and raised that have kids that's going to these schools. All right, Americans that should not be harassed for going to work. They're not lazy like a lot of people think. Black and brown people, they want to actually go to work, and it's horrible that this white T guy came and created this very hostile, unfair, racist story and put him in this position. I think somebody needs to sue Nick Shirley, in my opinion. Yep, and so he needs to learn. All right. So anyway, thank you for those who stop by. Thank you for those who see this story later. Please like, subscribe, and share. I am an opinionated Black woman in Brooklyn, and I will always speak my mind. All right, take care. Okay, bye, guys.